So the drug we will be learning today is called Rinvoq or upadacitinib. It is represented by this U-pad instead of an iPad. And the first app on our U-pad is called RQ to represent Rinvoq. The first two apps on our U-pad represent the mechanism of action of Rinvoq. So Rinvoq is a JAK inhibitor. So the second app in the top row has a picture of a JAK like you would use in games, with an inhibitory sign below it to represent that it is a JAK inhibitor. Rinvoq modulates the signaling pathway at the point of JAKs, preventing phosphorylation and activation of STATs. And so the inhibitory sign on the app is pointing at IL with 6 and 7 to either side of it. The second row of apps on the U-pad represents the clinical indications and uses for Rinvoq. The first one is for adults with moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis. The Toys R Us app helps to represent rheumatoid arthritis with our recurring severity meter below it, with the moderate to severe end of the meter marked in green. Another use is for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. The Psoriatic Arthritis Dinosaur app represents psoriatic. Another use is for adults with moderate to severe ulcerative colitis. The UC Intestines app, again with our severity meter above, showing the moderate to severe end marked in green. Another use is for adults with active ankylosing spondylitis. And to represent this, we have the Centipede app with the spinal column-esque centipede representing ankylosing spondylitis and the spinal column. And finally, it can be used for the treatment of moderate to severe atopic dermatitis in people aged 12 and up. To remember this, we look to the Centipede app, where the centipede has caused a rash on this poor person's arm. The severity meter again shows that the rash is moderate to severe, with a small indication next to the meter to remind us that the patient must be 12 years or older.
So I'm gonna have you guys take a look at the picture, and you see on the upper right hand side where the calendar is underneath it, it's POQD. So that simply signifies that it's taken orally for 4 times a day, and it's with or without food, and it comes in dosage wise, it comes in 15 milligrams extended release, 30 milligrams extended release, or 45 milligrams extended release.
Adverse effects include a black box warning for increased risk of serious infections, URI, HSV, shingles, and bronchitis, increased risk of major cardiovascular event, or even death in people 50 years old and up with previously existing CV risk factors, increased risk of cancer, and thrombosis. Additional adverse effects include allergic reactions, tears in the stomach or intestines, retinal detachment, nausea, cough, fever, acne, headache, weight gain, inflammation of hair follicles, and fatigue.
All right, now moving on to the picture with the guy in a tree in the background. We called him the side effect man. So the first contraindications is hypersensitivity to upadacitinib, pregnancy or breastfeeding. So with that, we have a little spider in the corner or towards the left leg, and that symbolizes, it's a tarantula. It's a symbol for teratogenic, meaning unsafe in pregnancy. And also, last of the contraindications that we have is hepatic impairment, which, as you can see, there's a visible liver marking in orange on the guy for hepatic.
Next, we're going to talk about some interactions. So underneath that new jack, we're going to be drawing a strong drink to remind us that this is a sip and has interactions with other sips. Then we'll be drawing a notepad and writing on it rifampicin and phenytoin because it has interactions with those medications. Then in pink, we'll be drawing what looks like a bacterial infection, and then what looks like a tree branch, supposed to represent a fungal infection. Medications for those have interactions with this as well. Then we will draw a shield, which represents immunosuppressants, has interactions with those, as well as other JAK inhibitors or biologic DMARDs, represented by the bio sign. Cyclosporine is an example of immunosuppressant. That's what the single I is for. This medication is usually used after a TNF blocker medication didn't work, so the cross in the TNF. And you are recommended to update immunizations. And remember, this is 5.6K.